Okay guys, so I'm going to talk to you on why some people get fat on the ketogenic diet. This is the one question that drives me cuckoo, cuckoo, cuckoo. I get freaking nutty. So let's get right on to it. Okay. Why do we get fat? We get fat for a couple of different reasons. Why do we get fat on keto? Now, it's the lottery. Oh yeah, I have to do this. This morning, I've got energy. Yes, and I'm so excited. Yeah. I'm stoking. Okay, and I'm 48 now, and I started saying my videos at 45, I think. I'm 48 and 6 years, strict keto, no refeeding, which should be another video about refeeding. Hell no. Alright, so let's get right on to it about fat, why we get fat. So I've done a few videos on this before, and I will keep reiterating until people stop asking me the same question over and over again. Now, so let's make it very simple. A lot of you guys, most of you, have some type of adrenal issue, right? Because we go to bed too late, because we drink caffeine, because we eat processed carbohydrates, which shoot our blood sugar up. Then insulin is secreted and push our blood sugar down. And then we're eating carbs again, which goes up, which downregulates our serotonin, which messes with amino acids in the brain, which also messes with your melatonin, and it messes with the ability to keep glucagon and insulin in balance, to keep your blood sugar stable. Every time, oh, and also our bodies become slathered in cortisol, and of course, getting out of the circadian rhythm. So we're up, down, in blood sugar, and this down regulates all of our hormones. Men, including your testosterone, and women, we become estrogen dominant. So if you've done that your whole life because you skip breakfast and then you've got coffee, or what about for the people in the U.S. who get up and they go to fast food and then they go to work, or they eat all their meals out at a restaurant and the food in restaurants is garbage. So I don't eat restaurant food that often. I do eat it, and I eat non-grass-fed meat and corn-fed everything, but it's like 3 times a year. As long as your detoxification pathways are functioning, the highways are not jammed up in a traffic jam, yes, we're like cockroaches, right? We can take toxins and we can clear them out. But if you start doing that stuff every day, traffic jam, and then you start to have issues. So a lot of you guys have traffic jams in your body. You don't methylate. The cells aren't respirating. They're not getting cleaned out. So when cells aren't able to get cleaned out or don't have enough building material from vitamins and minerals, you start to have hiccups in the way the systems function. You have all these systems. You have your nervous system, and you've got your heart and lung, and you've got your digestive, and you've got your reproductive, and you've got your glands, and you've got the midbrain, and you've got your thyroid, and you've got your adrenals, and you've got your muscular system, you've got your reproductive system, and you've got your gut. So all those things get junked up when you can't methylate. Essentially, you can't detox. But we are designed to detox, but we are taking in way more toxins than we are able to clean them out. So what happens? The body doesn't understand that we're in the modern time, guys. No. Our bodies think we're still off in the tundra. So toxic chemicals, pesticides, EMF poisoning, too much glucose into the system beyond 1 teaspoon per meal every couple of hours, put your body into crisis. And the only thing that your body understands that's crisis is survival. So we just pump out cortisol. Now, cortisol is meant to work as an antioxidant in the right dosages. But when you just become slathered in it, and when your hormones become too low or too high, and they're actually supposed to be your friend, now they become your foe, and they turn into gremlins, at night especially. So what's the deal with getting fat, right? I've babbled this long. The deal is your insulin is high because of all those things I just mentioned. You stay up too late, you're stressed out with bills, you don't methylate, you're eating toxins, you don't sleep, you exercise too hard, you don't exercise at all, you got a bad attitude, you use coffee, you're using sugar to raise your energy levels. So then what happens is, excuse me, you become metabolically damaged. So when you try the ketogenic diet, now your glucose or gluconeogenesis is a constant catabolic effect, and catabolism means for your body to break down. Because that's what your body needs to do. The body, to be happy, needs to get fat. Right? Because that's what you would need to do if you were starving to death in the wild. Because your body doesn't know that we're living in the modern time. Nope, not at all, not 1 second. Nope, nope, whatsoever. Nope, doesn't. So insulin, if you're wondering, it's not keto that's making you fat. It's the blood sugar dysregulation that continues to go on in your life, irregardless of trying keto. You're not adapted. I don't know how many times people say, I'm adapted. No, you're not. You are not adapted. And your glucose is high, and this is the reason why you need a dual glucometer. Your glucose is high, which means your insulin is high, and insulin is a fat-storing hormone. It's preventing you from not only to make ketones in many cases, but to use them because you're creating too much glucose. Or too much of a glucose response in the system. You have too much glucose. It doesn't even matter if you eat no carbs. Because if your body's not keto adapted, and that brain is primed and conditioned to use glucose because of that whole fight or flight mode that you're constantly, instead of being in a parasympathetic state towards the evening, you keep being too on and not enough off. The day should be on, off, push the button in, push the button out. Push the button in, you should be lit, let's go, and you should be, I'm chilling. No, you guys are sensitive, cranky, irritable, your hormones are jacked, they're hijacked. You're obsessed with you have OCD, you have mood disorder, you're on SSRIs, you're on so much medication which by far blocks your keto adaptation. And then you go on keto and you're not adapting. You're on birth control pills, which are a freaking nightmare. They're a nightmare. Men are on HRTs, they got little pellets. What happened to us human beings? What's going on? You guys are looking always for the quick fix. No. You have to start with this. This is your problem. The inability to accept the mess that you created. That you're running for the first snake oil elixir to fix the problem, and it doesn't. You know what fixes the problem? Time. And the ability to focus. Because the brain, it has 6 freaking seconds of consorted focus. That's what happens when you develop a blood sugar dysregulation and your adrenals are overworked. And you're too much in the sympathetic state. You can't focus beyond 6 seconds. It takes everything to focus because so many of you have brain fog. Way beyond candida. Yeah. Type 3 diabetes? Google it. The brain is getting hit with too much glucose. That's a whole other subject. You cannot lose weight by getting your macros perfect if you stay up late, drink coffee, eat cheese, which has a inflammatory response that you cannot measure. Because we're not supposed to drink from the cow. And you know I'm right. You just go, oh, but I went online and there's just so much of everybody doing that. So what's the problem? I love it. It tastes great, makes me constipated, and gives me inflammation. I don't know what the big deal is. See, I'll do anything to stay energized. And not that many people of you are energized. And no matter how much of you don't like how much I digress in videos, do not like my personality, you cannot deny the business. With a busted leg, no running, no jumping, at the age of almost 50. You can bitch all you want, but you cannot deny that. Why do I care to be so strict I don't care. Do what you want to do. I got my own life. But if I'm going to help you guys, I'm not going to do you any justice by lying to you to please the masses, because I'm afraid of being attacked for, I mean, Jesus, the cheese and the frickin' caffeine and the nut Nazi people. Yo, you mess with people's food and they get angry. So the more you guys complain, the more I know that your hormones are out of balance. Because stuff like that shouldn't bother you. Do an elimination diet for a short amount of time to clear out the allergens. Don't go do a freaking 20-day juice fast, colonic, freaking enema, coffee crap. No. Do things slowly, because the body doesn't like to be forced. Don't force your body to do stuff, or it's going to bitch slap you back. So basically, insulin is the reason why you're gaining weight. It's not the fat. Fat is not making you fat. Your broken metabolism, aka all your systems, the APA axis, your thyroid, your adrenals, your gut, your reproductive system, and your digestive system, that's a whole other video. You guys aren't even digesting your food properly. You're going to bed with food putrefying in your stomach, and you're in the sympathetic state after 5 p.m. You have to relax, because if you don't relax while you sleep, you wake up in the morning, test your fasted glucose, and it's skyrocketed high. You guys aren't reaching the 5th level of sleep. These are some of the reasons why your glucose is too high. And if glucose is high, insulin is high. And insulin is a fat-storing hormone and not a ketone-making hormone. That's why you're getting fat, because your glucose is high. You test your blood glucose. Someone said, but my glucose is only 86. Why am I getting fat? Because it needs to be under 80 or 4.4 millimolars. Yes. And you don't want to be hypoglycemic, so you got to make sure you test your ketones to make sure you are at least over a 1.8. And this ketoacidosis crap keeps popping up. You got to be at like 19 millimolars to have ketoacidosis. People have a hard time to reach a freaking 2. Type 1s get ketoacidosis. If you're not type 1, don't worry. And type 1s won't even develop ketoacidosis if they use their glucometer, test their ketones, and make sure it doesn't get too high. But for the rest of you all, stop freaking out for the misinformation on the internet. Okay, where are we? Okay, we're still in good time. I'm so excited. I love this stuff. I'll never get bored, ever. Because each day I discover something new about the body or the personality or the way you live your life or the mentality or the fact that people just aren't grateful. They look at what they don't have instead of what they have, which spikes their glucose. Remember, your glucose can be spiked in 3 minutes from gluconeogenesis, which is the breakdown of the amino acids in your body to spike your glucose because your body thinks it's starving and it's trying to get that fast rocket fuel, because when you're stressed, you won't use ketones. You don't want to log on the fireplace. You want rocket fuel. But we're not having lions chase us. And we're not starving. We got food everywhere. Why are we in fat storage mode? Why? Why are we in starvation mode? A lot of you women eat too low calories. Calories don't matter, but you have too little fat material. You're eating 90 grams of fat. And so that drops down your calories down to the 12s. And then you're not adapting, but your glucose is freaking skyrocket high. You're like freaking diabetic. Pre-diabetic. And if you have pre-diabetic numbers, you're going to store fat. Fat does not have a receptor site on the cell. No. Fat gets into the cell, but it has a very difficult time permeating the fat cell wall. You put a carb in that body, and it just goes right in via that receptor site, the catcher's mitt, that takes in the glucose. Know this, you guys. Receptor sites, GLUT4 receptor sites, your metabolism, the state of it, starvation mode, and the most important thing you need to know is about insulin. You're eating a lot of fat. It's the fat that's not making you fat. It's the fact that your glucose is too high. And what happens when your glucose is high? You're in fat storage mode. It's not the ketogenic diet, it's the application of it. If you guys are expecting and reading this crap on the internet with people losing 20 pounds in the first 2 weeks, they've lost muscle and they've lost water. And yes, we hold on to a lot of water. Because for every 1 bite of a carb, your body can hold on to almost 3 bites of water, and that water just stays in the cell. And as you see, I'm not watery. I'm not puffy. Because I don't eat carbohydrates and I keep my glucose down here.